that the worst addiction to have would have to be gambling. Which luckily, for somebody with an addictive personality, gambling was never my thing. I never liked gambling. I don't like being the sucker in a situation. And if you've ever been to a casino, you can look around and understand that these people are not losing money. They're raking it in. So you're walking in at a huge disadvantage. And that's a position I don't like being in. It pisses me off. I want to have the upper hand in all situations. So anything with that flips that dynamic on its head to where I'm necessarily at the disadvantage, I don't enjoy that. And thank God, because I mean, every addict has triggers, right? A trigger is something, if you don't know, that makes you want whatever it is you're addicted to. So it might be driving down a road. This was one that was for me, was if I drove down the road that I'd take to get to the dealer's house, for instance. And a trigger could be anything, but if you're a gambling addict, the trigger is money itself. So you're sort of doomed to always either be uncomfortable or broke. I used to also think that sex addiction and porn addiction and video game addiction were not real addictions. I've been to rehab twice. I know what addiction is, so I thought, and it is drugs and alcohol, substances. Since then, I've learned a little bit more about neurology and how things like porn affect people's biology, really. And I've changed my tune on that. I do think porn addiction is a real thing. I think sex addiction is a real thing. The jury's still out on video games, but once something like porn made the cut in my mind, that really has smoothed the way as far as opening me up to video game addiction being anything more than just a bullshit excuse for people to be lazy, really. I'm addicted to video games. You're right, we all like our video games. But now the jury's out on that now. But I do think porn is particularly damaging, which is so weird for me that I've completely reversed my previous beliefs on the matter and sort of grown into an old square. Like, I think porn is ruining society. And I do, and it is. And especially for young men. If anybody watching this is a young man or a boy or has one that's a son or whatever, I'd encourage you to take that shit seriously. I know that I do. And who knows what all effects it really has. It's kind of hard to parse out. It's probably impossible to parse out what impact came from what source. But I've got to think that cuckolds, I mean, what an absurd fetish. It has to come from porn. I can't think of any other way that this fetish has evolved aside from dudes who grew up watching too much porn. And now they get off by watching other dudes bang their wife. It's crazy. It's absolutely, it's just an absurd fetish. It's so counter everything, really. But yeah, I mean, do you want to grow up to be a cuck? I can't imagine anybody does. But that seems like the smoking gun of a clear example of this is a harm. Assuming it's a harm. I mean, you may not agree that the cuck lifestyle is harmful. And maybe it's not for some people, but I got to think that this is not a healthy relationship dynamic. This is not a healthy sexual interaction between a husband and wife. This is a really fucked up situation. That fucked upness in the relationship probably plays through in other areas in their world, in their lives, in their marriage, in their parenting styles, and in all sorts of things, and how, and you know, just across the board. And if anybody's ever been on a porn website, and don't lie, you know what I'm talking about when it's like, what's with the titles of these videos? I mean, you can just sort of see where the perversion, the engineered perversion, is going, right? It's not. There's no way that all of the just barely not incest titles are accidental or naturally occurring, like they're reflective of the real market for what people are looking for. There's just not any chance on earth. Yeah, I don't know. That's all. Didn't really have a place to land this video. I was just driving and thinking, and I was like, you know what? People like hearing about porn and addictions. So now I'm done driving and I'm done talking and definitely done thinking. So like, subscribe, share, do all the things. Don't watch porn. Don't gamble. And oh yeah, and if you don't know, to share, all you have to do is click the share button and then copy the link. You don't actually have to share it anywhere, but if you hit share and then copy the link, the Flow State channel still gets credit for it being shared. It'll pump it in the algorithm. So thanks for watching.